Hey everyone, this is Brittany Milner. So, when I was reading this chapter, I think there were a couple things that stood out to me. Um, One of the first things was in the beginning of the chapter when it talked about how GLBT persons may be seen as such threats to social and religious um, as well and relational hierarchies, and they are overly excluded or forced to conform. I feel like this is a big issue in Rexburg because of the institution that we have. It is centered around Christianity, and so a lot of members of the church that go there have a hard time when they have same gender attraction or when they're dealing with GLBT issues, and they don't feel like they have a safe place to go. They feel like they're going to be judged, that people are going to push them away, that they could possibly be dismissed from the school. There's a lot of fears that I've heard of over the years. So they just don't feel like they have a safe place to go. And this is coming from personal experiences that I've heard and seen as I worked at the Family Crisis Center. And it's just such a sad thing to see. But one of the other things that I liked in the chapter, it's on page 108, and it talks about the specific resources. And I really liked what it talked about in the beginning when it said, it says they must be created, so these resources and the support must be created to keep the assets GLBT individuals in their rural homes. And so in order to keep them to stay here, to feel wanted, it's really important for them to have that support. And so in regards to the questions, the first one was, how would I increase this one LGBT organization? Well, first, with the organization that I would create would definitely be a community support group. And at the Family Crisis Center, this has been a lot of talk for a couple of years now, as we've seen it be a bigger problem around here, that we have absolutely no groups that I'm aware of to refer people to. And there are many students on campus, but they keep it behind closed doors, and it's not openly talked about within these support groups. And so I'd love to start one there. There's already a women's group, and there's some child advocacy there. And so the Crisis Center is growing, and I think this would be a great asset for them, for people to come and feel like they have people surrounded by them, that they could talk about their issues, talk about maybe how they felt discriminated against. I know I interviewed a lesbian couple a couple years ago, and their biggest concern was that they just felt shunned wherever they went. They couldn't express love to each other. They couldn't express who they were because they felt like they were being judged, and that they had children, and their children felt scared, especially with being in a highly religious town, to share that they had two moms. And so it was just kind of a hush-hush thing for them. But they loved the community, and they loved being here. They felt like it was where they grew up, and that's where they wanted to stay. And so I think that by knowing people that maybe are going through what they're going through, and a place that they can discuss the difficulties and the trials that they're facing, is super important. So that would essentially be the organization that I would love to run or help organize. And then as far as the exploring the use of technology and social networking and safety of the members, I think this goes by word of mouth. That hopefully with the connections that we have with counselors in the community and with the schools in the community, that we can just add it as another one of the Family Crisis Center's resources for people to go to, and especially counselors of the schools. as they have access to adolescents. And then we also have what's called a community outreach at the Family Crisis Center, and they are the connection between us and the college. And so I think they would be able to promote awareness of that organization. But essentially, word of mouth that it does exist and that it's a safe place for them to go to. And then how would I collaborate with GLBT community to establish this organization? Kind of the same thing here, is that word of mouth, and to, I think, create awareness for people to know that it's available. Because like I said, there's been a lot of religious leaders and affiliations around here that have asked specifically to help their members when they have these issues come up. And there's just, frankly, no place for them to go to or to have people that support them. And then it would definitely be it would be social. It would be a social place for them. So that's what I would hope to bring to fruition here. And I know that it's been in the works for a long time. So I know that it's eventually coming. It's just a matter of getting, like I said, getting enough people to want to volunteer and getting the word out to make it an organized success.